The brain is a physical organ made up of cells called neurons, among others. These neurons construct neural networks across various parts of the brain that we associate with certain functions. When these functions and tasks occur in tandem, it makes emerge what we know as the mind or consciousness, with almost a multiplication effect upon these multi-network connections. The rate of communication between these parts of the brain appears to us as instant, giving us our own idea that we arise thoughts out of ourselves. We'll get to that maybe in another video. These electric thoughts within our brain wires that they're covered with fat are the pathways that our personality comes from. This is so simplistic, guys. So I'm linking some 5 videos for some deeper diving into like neural anatomy. They're not direct. You can always find those in like in an anatomy book or like a PBS show, Nova, whatever. But these are like some deeper topics that kind of take you to some like interesting aspects of how our brains and minds and other kinds of things work. We like to call them in the nerd world our meat computers. So how do we keep them healthy? So the cells of our brain and most cells in our body function, and most cells in life operate on something called glucose, which is a type of sugar that is created and then flows in our bloodstream. Organs associated with good glucose production are like the pancreas and liver. They're responsible for taking the sugars in our diet and alcohols in our diet and making them into glucose, which is then an energy for our cells. Our brains function on that too. But for the brain cells to send the messages, they need to be covered in fat, which is often absorbed through our intestines, but there are other parts of our body that are absorbed through. And depending on the type of fat, it's either good for the brain or it's not. So other videos can go deeper into that. I don't check the videos I linked go into that, but got typing skills. You found my video. So, for those people who have brains younger than about 26 years old, there's a lot less growth going on in the brain. So protein is only really a useful part for brain growth and development in like younger than 26. Other parts of our lives, there could be brain growth, maybe like brain regrowth after like trauma, where protein is more necessary. But for the majority of our adult life, without those types of scary events like strokes or concussions, like the protein is more associated with other parts of our body. And there are special brain cells both in our brain and other parts of our body that make what are called neurotransmitters, and other parts of our body make things called hormones. You've heard of those. Not all hormones are about testosterone, estrogen, and progesterone, by the way. Adrenaline is a hormone, and adrenaline definitely plays into our brain chemistry and how neurotransmitters, like neurotransmitters, for lack of a better way, are the chemical packages that essentially are the physical message, the physical like letter message that's like being sent along these electronic pathways in our neural networks. And again, I'm simplifying a lot of things. I'm trying to make an image in your brain so you can like visualize it and like okay, that's how it works. Okay, yeah. And except for like things like concussions, strokes, certain diseases, nutritional imbalances, our brain should produce these neurotransmitters enough and healthfully, bountifully. When it doesn't, those are when we get people names, labels with like disorders, mental health problems, diseases, Pardon me. So, these will lead to things like mood imbalance and personality changes, especially with, like, we can see this in stroke survivors. We love you. We care about you. Drink your water and your electrolytes. Don't smoke. This video is not professional medical advice. Don't think of me as anything in the medical field. I just taught health for 4 years and I studied anthropology. So again, I talked about my first mental health video. This is just my views. You are not required to do anything I say. This is from my lived and learned experience as a 37-year-old gay white man, cisgendered. Grew up Christian. I'm practicing Judaism now. Blah, blah, blah. I like metal. Music and jewelry. In fact, I got myself and my husband new metal today. We've had a very scary last 30 days. And as I said in previous videos, we like metal a lot. This is a sterling silver beaded bracelet with 4 blue eyes to ward off the evil eye. Okay. If you're not familiar, you could look that up in another video. I'm not going to talk about that here. My husband got something as well. We got these because one thing that happened to me this week, this is a longer video. One thing that happened to me this past week at the mental hospital is that my silver chain, which my husband gave me, and a silver bracelet, which had turquoise on it, which he had gotten in New Orleans, were not in the return bag from the hospital. So that will be in the police report we file soon. Anyway, back to neuroscience. I'm not a professional. I'm just Curtis. But the organ systems that you got to keep in mind when you are thinking about, like, okay, how to keep my brain in mind? What are the parts that lead to my brain being healthy, that lead to my mind being healthy? These are our liver, our pancreas, our lungs, our heart, our lymph nodes, our kidneys, and our intestines, even our butts. Yep, our rectums, all little butt heads we are. And learning how to keep these organ systems healthy will keep our brains receiving the nutrition they need and be able to produce the neurotransmitters it needs. Take a multivitamin every day. Exercise to at least a good sweat every day. Maybe like give 1 day off a week. It's like the whole Sabbath thing. Balance your diet. Come on. We all learned it, I think, right? Somewhere. Some woman in your past, mother, grandma, auntie taught you what was a balanced diet. Follow that. Hydrate, breathe fresh air, sleep. I know, right? Simple, but keep these in mind. And spoil yourself. You know. You deserve it.